Hey there, this is Katherine. I am sharing a paper pad called Bold Brushstrokes from Recollections. Craftsmith sent this to me. You can pick these up in your local Michaels store or online. And I'm just going to do a quick flip through of this paper. It has all these beautiful brushstrokes in blues and pinks, and there's a lot of gold foil in it as well, which I love. I love the warmth of the pinks with the gold foil, but then they also did it in blue, which is fun. Never Stop Dreaming. They have these big 6x6 pieces that have some writing on them. Here's some more brushstrokes with some yellow and pink, and you'll see the colors it's so hard on camera. It's so much prettier always in person, but they're just lovely. And so you can got some green and blue colors in this as well, and more of these little cut-aparts, and a few more pieces of the brushstrokes in blue with different tones. They're just so realistic, and of course they had to finish it off with this gorgeous gold foil piece. And I don't think I'm going to use that in this video. I feel like I need to keep that for a little bit longer. So I'm going to make some cards with this paper pad. I kept them pretty simple for the most part in the beginning. These first few are very simple. I'm just cutting down. I cut down a piece a little bit smaller than my A2 card, and then I'm going to use one of the cut-aparts, and I'm using that in blue. It's a nice contrast. And that one says lovely, and the gold foil is just lovely. I'm just using some pink cardstock and some blue cardstock from my stash that I pulled out that worked well with these tones. On this one, I glued two pieces of the paper. I cut them on an angle, and I glued them onto a piece of white cardstock and then have mounted that onto my base. I'm using this Miss You die from My Favorite Things. I love how big it is. It fills your page very easily, the front of your card. And of course, I love the sentiment, miss you. You never can tell someone enough that you miss them, especially when you're far away. So I am going to glue that down. And then I've got to add the little dot to the eye. I always lose that. But miraculously, I didn't lose it this time. Usually I lose that, and I either use a gem or something. That little piece always is hard to find after you die cut it, but it worked out just fine. So I've got these little puffy stickers that I had in my craft stash that had similar hues with the blue, and I am going to add those on there. And then I've got this ribbon from Paper Tray Ink that I had pulled out, I wanted to use as well. And this beautiful blue, something with a sky color. It's so pretty. I have a lot of Paper Tray Ink ribbon from years ago that I'm working through my craft stash, and it is beautiful. It ties beautifully, just super high quality. I think they still sell it. They also have Ink to Paper is their other brand, but Paper Tray is where that ribbon came from. So that's it on that one. I kept all in the blue tones. And then on this next one, I am going to add this beautiful background die. This background die is from Diamond Press. I don't think it's available anymore, but they have amazing background dies. You can see how intricate it is. So I took one of those sheets of the brushstroke paper and just ran it through my machine. So you get this really cool effect. This watercolor kind of effect without having to do a bit of work except run it through your machine. So that is my kind of background. So it just took a second to run it through, and like you can see, it's so intricate. This hello die, I went with a very intricate hello die from Gina K Designs. This was in a recent card kit a month or two ago, and I thought it would work very, very well with that intricate die and background die. So I'm going to finish it off with a few little rhinestones, and that's it on that one. On this next card, I've got some stickers. These stickers on the left are also from Recollections that are in your Michaels store. They had a bunch of them in the store recently when I went, probably a month or so ago, and I've been using them for various projects. and I thought they would work well with this beautiful yellow and pink background. So I've got this Miss You die that is from Diamond Press. It was in I think it's in a slimline card set. It was on an auto ship from HSN that I recently got. So I'm going to cut that from this bright yellow cardstock, and that circle die came from Stamps of Life. But I'm going to first add one of these beautiful little bouquets because they're so pretty. It's a little hard to see on camera, but they do have some glitter on them as well. Just very, very pretty. So I'm going to use that fine tip glue and adhere the Miss You on top of that bouquet. And then I will adhere this all down. I'm thinking about, I'm going to add something else at the end, but I love those stickers. They're just a lot of fun. So if you don't have a lot of die cuts, they're a great way to decorate a card quick and easy, which is definitely how I like it sometimes. So I'm going to lay this white ribbon down. This is, I think I picked up this one from Joann's. I'm always looking for white ribbon because I use it a lot and I run out a lot. So I pick it up at various places, but I think this most recent roll came from Joann's, and I like the satin ribbon too. It's a little bit thicker and it just cuts really well and ties really well. So I'm going to trim that up, and then I'm going to pop this up with some foam dimensionals on the back. This is the Stampin' Up! Foam dimensionals that I use in pretty much every single video. I know it's always painful to watch me fiddling with them. I'm either pulling the tape off of these or off of the Stamps of Life one, the bigger sheet. But I just love them. So it's just part of card making. You got to use some foam. I'm going to add a little butterfly and one more flower, one more rose, and that is it on that one. So pretty. This next card is fun. This is a Big Birthday Wishes, which is a die from My Favorite Things. I've been shopping my card stash, my craft stash, I should say, looking for things that I need to use. So I'm going to run this through my Diamond Press machine, and it cuts out beautifully. As always, you can see all the little letters just fall right out. No poking required. And I will save these. I could use these again for something else. So I'm going to adhere this down, but I also need to cut some gold foil letters. I decided to do that. I thought about doing blue, but I really wanted to keep in the same kind of warm tone. And if you've followed me for a minute, you know I love anything with gold foil. And so I just had a scrap piece of gold foil sitting around from a project I did a little while ago, and I thought I would inlay this back in. That's what I love about card making. There's so many different techniques that give such a wow factor, and this one's really pretty easy. It takes a few minutes to glue these back in, but you just get such a cool look, and you could do it, customize it any way you wanted to. You could glue some of those pattern letters back in with the gold, and that's the fun part about paper piecing. You can just do anything you want with it, which I love. So at this point, I'm starting to glue in those smaller pieces. I can just apply my glue directly in there, and then once my letter gets in there, it kind of smushes the glue down, and I get a nice adhesion that way. Instead of having to glue every single piece, I can use the ones that don't have cutouts. I can just glue directly into their little spot. So Birthday Wishes, I'm not adding anything to that. I'm letting all that gold foil speak for me. So I'm revisiting this first card. I had this flower that I wanted to add on, and then I'm going to move to the last one, which is going to be a mini slimline card. I know slimlines are still very, very popular. This card is 6 by 3.5 inches, and I've got this gorgeous Never Stop Dreaming that I wanted to use on a card front. So I'm trimming this down to 3 inches, and I will trim just a little tiny bit off the edge, need just a tiny bit off, and then I'm going to adhere this to this bright pink cardstock because I think it looks so good with that paper. So I'm not going to pop it up. I'm just going to add some glue and keep it simple. These slimlines are fun, the mini slimlines. You just can take your big slimline and trim it down. That's what I did, and just made it shorter. But you can make a mini size you want. But I thought it would work great with that 6x6 cardstock paper pad. All right, so I'm going to finish this last one off with some gold stars. I had a little bit of that leftover gold paper, so I ran through my machine with a star die that was sitting on my craft table, and I thought that would be a nice finish to this project. And there you go. Never stop dreaming. What a great sentiment to send. I'm in the graduation season with children, so that's kind of a fun thing to send out because they're really starting to pursue a lot of their dreams after high school. So it's always a good reminder to never stop dreaming at any age. All right, so here's just a little recap of the cards I made with this beautiful paper pad. Thank you, Craftsmith, for sending it to me. I could have made a whole lot more, but I ran out of time. The story of my life. So be sure to subscribe and share and like this video. I'd love to share more inspiration with you in the future. Let me know if you have a card that you really liked out of this, and leave me a comment in the bottom. Thanks so much, and have a great day.